Welcome back to Gloved Up Garage. In this episode, I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I have been doing. I don't have any cars to work on right now, so I've got this lamp, and I actually picked this up from my mother-in-law's neighbor who had passed away. They were cleaning out his garage, and this was tucked up under a workbench in the corner, covered in mud. And this is one of those protected light fixtures. They use them in factories and gyms and stuff like that to keep the globe from getting broke. It's actually got the manufacturer name on it, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, but I found it on here. There it is. So it looks like Crouse, and then that's actually Hinds. It's so dirty that it's hard to even see it. There's the H and the I. The D and the S is covered in mud. So there was a little set screw right here with a flat head on it. I've taken that out hoping that that would release the globe, or the globe cover, which I haven't been able to get off yet. My plan with this is once I get this apart, I'm going to clean this up, sandblast it, which I'm sure this is probably old leaded paint, so I'm going to sandblast it outside with the mask on, and eventually paint this thing, and then I'm going to mount it on the outside of my garage. Currently, I'm waiting on an electrician to come out and wire my garage for a couple of additional circuits. I'm actually going to put in a new meter and an entire circuit breaker box over here in my garage. It's piggybacked off of the other garage on a sub panel, so it's not really up to code. And I don't know if I've mentioned before, I can't get my compressor over here. I really need my compressor in order to sandblast. Right now I've got to go over to another barn and use it over there. It's not very ideal, so for now, I'm going to try to get this thing apart, clean up the globe, see how far I can get on it, see if I can get the actual fixture, the part that holds the bulb itself inside of this arm. And something I was noticing is this has got some threads on it, so I'm kind of wondering if conduit will just screw right into that, or if it's like iron pipe, or I don't know. I'll have to figure that part out. Once I get this all apart and cleaned up, I'll take it to Lowe's and see what it fits into there. Or if you guys know in the comments, please leave me a comment and let me know, because I know very little about electronics as far as house electronics, AC stuff. I know just enough to test the circuit and see if it's got power on it. I know how to put in some receptacles and stuff like that, but as far as, you know, the specific details to what would go into that, I don't know. So I'm going to work on trying to get this thing apart, and then I'll be right back with you once I get it apart and we can kind of run through the process. Basically what I'm doing is taking a screwdriver and trying to get between the globe protector and the housing itself. You can see that line right there. And from what I've seen online, I looked one of these up on eBay. They're just held in place with, I believe there's an O-ring or something right there. And there's like a rib on the globe protector itself, and it's just held in place with friction. So I'm going to work on getting this apart. Hopefully I don't break anything, and then I'll come back to you guys once I get it apart. All right, well, that took a few seconds to get that apart. Actually, it took me a couple of minutes of figuring out how this all goes together. So the globe itself is threaded. This, from what I could see online, you see that rib? And I thought there was supposed to be an O-ring in there, but it's actually a thread. Once I worked it loose, it kind of unscrewed enough where I could get it out. And then the actual housing itself, it says Crouse Hinds on it as well, so I think that's all original. It looks like porcelain too, which is pretty cool. I'll get this bulb out, and then what I want to do is I'm going to disassemble the bulb base, and I'll probably have to convert this over. It looks like I see two wires. This could be grounded to the housing itself, but due to the age of this thing and not really knowing much about it, I can know for sure that there should be a ground on this somewhere. So I don't know if it's grounded to the housing or if the conduit would have been a ground, which doesn't really seem right. Blue and black wires. I know the black wire would be the hot wire, and there should be a white wire for a common, but it's blue, so I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to figure this thing out. I mean, I guess this could be possible 240, but I don't really know. I mean, no, it can't be. The bulb says 120 on it, so I don't know if that's original, if somebody's rewired it or what. So my next step, I'm gonna get the bulb out, the bulb base out, and then I'll be able to kind of mess with the housing itself and take it back outside, scrub it, and try to get as much of this paint off as possible. I did bend the lip of this just a little bit, so I'll have to kind of like go back through and straighten it out. As I was trying to pry it and screw it at the same time, it just worked the edge of that lip a little bit. So no big deal there. I'll get that straightened out and I'll come right back to you guys. All right, so I got the bulb base out, and unfortunately it used these either copper or brass screws, and they were seized in the main housing. You see every one of those is where the screw broke off, where it went through the bulb base. It was just a 2-wire setup. There's no ground on there at all. So I know for sure that I would probably want to upgrade this. That wire right there came off of that, and that's where you can see that's where the bulb actually screws into. Those 2 screws make contact. So yeah, I definitely would have upgraded that, which is weird because it has provision for that, which I don't know if that's a ground or if that's where, oh, that's where that one was. So anyway, so I'll have to figure this out and see if I can get another base that might fit in here, or I'll see if they make like a reproduction. This is porcelain, so that's pretty cool. I'd like to be able to retain this and then just somehow convert it over to a 3-wire setup. I've got some electrician friends, so I'll talk to them and see if that's possible. But for now, there's the remnants of a rubber gasket in here. I'm gonna try to get that cleaned out. I'm gonna try to get all the gunk out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and drill out those screws. I have just enough left on here of the thread that I could probably measure that and see what it is, which it looks like it's like 440 or 440 thread. I don't think it's too small to be 1024, so I'm pretty sure it's number 4. But I will get in there and clean all that up, get this housing cleaned up, which it's pretty heavy. I don't know if it's aluminum or if it's cast iron. It's pretty rusty, so I don't know. Well, I'll get in there and clean all that up, and you can hear the roosters in the background. Pretty happy about it, so I'll come back once all that's cleaned up. Well, I got the threads cleaned up a little bit on the dome cover, the protector. I'll go through and clean that up a little bit more. I started to do like a wire wheel on this. So this is cast iron. I haven't hit this with a magnet yet to see if it's iron or aluminum. It's pretty light, so I'm going to say it's probably aluminum. This is definitely cast iron. It's really heavy. This thing probably weighs 3 pounds if I had to guess. Went ahead and drilled out the holes. Didn't quite get them perfect, but that was a smaller bit than what I really need to do the tap size. So it is an 8/32 or 8x32. I'm sorry, 8x32 thread pattern bolt that goes through that. I guess it really could be just about whatever size I wanted it to be, because I mean I could step up to a 10 if I didn't get those holes lined up correct. Because the holes in this are much bigger than 8. If I had to guess, they're probably 10 or probably like 10/24. They're pretty big. And then again, I don't even know if I'll be able to find parts for this. I'd love to reuse this. I think it's just cool that it's got the porcelain piece in it, but we'll have to check that out. And again, I've got to figure out how to add the ground to it, and maybe I just ground this to ground the housing to the 3 wires that would come into it, and obviously neutral and hot would go to the bulb. So. But that's where I'm at for now. I cleaned up the dome a little bit. I know it's still kind of hazy. I need to get some actual glass cleaner on it and see if it'll clean up anymore. It's not scuffed or anything. It's just kind of hazy and nasty. It's not really the easiest thing in the world to clean. I might take it inside, put it in the sink, and let it soak in some Dawn dish soap and get some of the grease and the funk out of it. I do need to sandblast this, because what I've realized is even if I got in here with a wire wheel, I'm probably not going to be able to get up inside of the elbow part of this with a wire wheel. And I don't really want to take any more material out of this. So I'm going to try to wire wheel it and then see where that gets me, and hopefully it'll clean up enough. But I'm going to give that a shot real quick, hit it with a wire wheel just to see what it looks like. This is probably not going to be done today in this video. I know for sure it's not. Again, because I've just got to research and get some additional parts. But I just wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I've been tinkering on. The next video that I'll work on will be the passenger door panel for the Marauder, so I can show you guys how I fixed the armrest on that. But just want to take a break from the car stuff for a second, show you some of the other stuff that I work on. This car I know has been sitting in the background for a little bit, You guys might have been able to see it in the background, but this is a buddy of mine's 88 LX that I've done a lot of work on this. It's just to the point where I don't have time to work on it anymore. So he's got a friend that's got a lot of free time that's going to take over from here. Basically, the heads need to come off and the heads need to be replaced with a different set of heads. All the valves are bent on them. There's a whole string of issues with those heads that I really don't want to get into, but basically they're Ford Racing aluminum heads, and they have fought me from the moment that I installed them on this car up until now, when I've got to hand it off to someone else just because I don't have time to rip everything back apart for him. So that's in the background. Still got the Marauder sitting back there. I need to do a final cleanup on it, do probably a wipe down and another wash, and then that's a bottle of Perfect It sitting on the hood, because I would love to get some of the swirl marks and stuff out of the hood, but I don't know if I'll be able to or not, if I'll have time. There's a couple of car shows, cruises coming up that I want to go to. The last show we went to wasn't very successful. We didn't get a trophy, not that I had really anticipated one, but just a few things I need to clean up on it before the next one. So I will take a break. I'm going to hit that with a wire wheel, and then we will be right back. All right, so I got in here with a wire wheel, cleaned up the inside really good. You can see there's a little bit of debris in there from where I just tapped the 4 holes that hold the light bulb fixture into the fixture itself, into the housing. I'll have to do a little bit of research, but what I'm seeing is like some of these older ones did not have a ground that actually went to this. They would just ground the fixture somewhere. So I think I can probably figure out a way to do that, either on the backside or just figure out a way to tap a wire in here somewhere to the housing itself to ground it, and that should be good. Considering I don't have a place to put this just yet, pretty much up in the air as to what I need to do. So again, I'll do a little bit more research and verify it's up to code and all that fun stuff. So for now, this is good. I just need to sandblast the outside, which takes quite a bit of time. My blast booth, I don't have my compressor out here right now, so I can't use my blast booth. So for now, I'll have to do this outside, and it's pretty hot, so I'll wait till later this week when it cools off, blast the outside. Then I'm going to hit this with epoxy primer inside and out to seal the metal up so that it doesn't rust anymore. Epoxy will get in there into the pores of the metal and seal it up. So, and then from there I'll pick a color, and I'm thinking either black or red at this point. I don't really like the white. I think black or red would really make it stand out, and I'm thinking a gloss black would be really cool. The trim on my garage is black, so it would kind of match the trim. So that'll be it for this episode of Gloved Up Garage. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you find what we're doing entertaining. Hit the bell notification or the bell icon so that you're notified when I do upload a new video. And please leave a comment if you feel like you should comment on something. I do read the comments on the videos. So that'll be it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.